Do you feel as if democracy is stuck? Like, no matter what we do, no matter how we vote, nothing ever happens. It's like a, it's like a train crash in slow motion. We see everything happening, but we can't do anything because no matter how we vote, things will never change. All right. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what happened in Belfast over the last few days, and the riots and the attempted beheading, etc. I think what we're witnessing today is actually kind of the end of democracy as we know it, or the breakdown of democracy actually. And what I think is that for a long time we had this idea that we could just build bigger and bigger units of people. Like we started out with smaller countries that merged into bigger ones and yet bigger ones, and then at the last week we created like EU and stuff like that, superstructures on top of countries even. And the whole idea is that we can all just live together in harmony, if, all the million peoples in this country. But I think it's becoming more and more evident that that is not really what is happening. It's not that we can live together all happily, because it turns out that people are different and cultures are different. We have very different ideas of how we want to live our lives, and we have very different identity. Yeah, it's down to identity a lot. And when we have different identity, the problem is that democracy just becomes a tool for the majority, whoever the majority is. And whoever is in minority just has to suffer and just has to bear the consequences of whatever the majority decides. And also, I like to say often that there's like two things problem with democracy. The first problem is that democracy doesn't even work, because sometimes there is a majority to do something. There is a majority that want to do something, but even so, the politicians just drag their feet. They just talk, but they never do anything. So first of all, the democracy doesn't work as intended. So that's the first problem. And even if that could be fixed, it's not. We can see now with this kind of balkanization, with different identity groups, that even if democracy did work, it might not even lead to the result we want anyway, because what happens if the majority of the people are opposed to you in some way and your way of living and etc. So we have come to see now that democracy is problematic in itself. There's something fundamentally wrong with democracy. And what is wrong is, of course, is like, if you take a marriage. In a marriage, of course, you can't just marry anyone and say we like take anyone off the street and marry. That doesn't work. Marriage is an institution that is fundamentally kind of discriminatory. Like you choose a person that you trust and that they trust you, and you admire each other, and you want to build a future together. And I think when it comes to democracy, it should be treated the same way as a marriage, and it can only work if we have a shared sense of identity, if we have a common identity of what we want to be, and and also a shared set of values. These are the values we want to live according to. And clearly, like, we have the Christian value sets and we have the Islamic value sets, and they are at odds with each other. They're not compatible in many ways. We can't unite on a unified code on how to behave. So what's the solution then? Yeah, the solution, just like a failed marriage, you have to start to think about separation. What we saw in Belfast, like with violence triggering even more violence. I mean, that's not the route we want to take. So just like a failed marriage, you start about thinking about separation. The same thing with a failed society. You need to start to think about separation. And there are two ways we can do that. Either if we gain majority, if nationalist attempts could gain majority in the countries of Europe, for example, then we could perhaps make a real remigration attempt, and like millions must go, and we really try to have a serious endeavor to realize this remigration. But if that doesn't happen, I mean, that is, of course, we can't rely 100% on that this will ever happen, because when it comes to democratic elections, to gain more than 50% support for something is really hard, especially when we have women voting, and we know they vote very pro-migration. They vote very much against this kind of hard measures that remigration might be seen as. And also we have migrants themselves that already live in Europe, that always vote to have more immigration, because they want their fellow Muslims to come and join them and take over Europe. So they will push more migrations. So what if democracy fails in that way? Like, we can't win anymore. We can't win. What will we? And I think my solution to that is that we need to start this idea of network nations. We need to start to, okay, so if we can't get them out of the country, and we stay here and they stay here, then we still have to separate somehow. We need to separate from them. So I think we need to abandon this whole idea that we have a country, and a country has a state, and within the borders of the country all people belong to the same state. I think we need to sort of re-tribalize Europe. We need to build new nations within nations. We need to, all people who stand for a Christian way of life, who believe in like secular Christianity, if all people who believe in secular Christianity join together and form a network nation, then we could somehow start to separate within the borders we already have, and start to say that maybe we want our own welfare system, for example. We want our own schools, for example. And this is, of course, a pretty complicated project. There's a lot of pieces, moving pieces in this, but I think if we fail with democracy, and if we don't want to have a civil war, I think peaceful separation through network nations could be an alternative. Because why I think we need to separate into different states is because, like, assume if Christianity and secular Christianity and Islam is so opposed to each other, I think it's unfair that we have to support each other through the tax system. I think one very, very unfair thing we have here in Europe is that hardworking Christians work very hard to raise taxes, and then those taxes, instead of benefiting the secular Christian community, all those taxes are used to pay for immigrants that have diametrically opposed worldviews. So all that tax money goes to support migrants that maybe are Muslims, for example. So we have to fund our own demise in a way, and I think that is very, very unfair. And I think if we could split into different network states, then we could maybe stop that somehow. And how we do that in practice, I think blockchain technologies is the answer here. I think we should, and public voting, because if we want to unite around the common cause, we have to show ourselves, we have to stand up, we have to, like, raise a flag. This is me and this is what I want. And if we have public voting and over blockchain, then we could unite around a new social contract. We say all people who believe in secular Christianity, let us unite around a social contract and let's form a new network state. And this network state can then go on to be something and mean something in real life. So that is the idea, how to get out from this problem. Because I think the other solutions, I mean, remigration, yeah, great. If we can make remigration work, then yeah, that is great. But I also think we need to think long term here and think about why democracy failed the way it did. Because just having millions and millions of people in the same democracy, in the same state, and trying to have a unified course of action for all these millions of people, maybe it's the wrong idea to start with. So the idea now is that first we split ourselves into different network nations, network states, and then after that we can have democracy. So that is like a two-step system. So I think I kind of explained the main idea here. Yeah, if you have any questions and if you have any thoughts about this, let me know in the comments below, and the discussion can continue. Because I think Europe is in peril right now, and we need to start to discuss what we can do about it. Thanks and bye bye.